So I certainly don't look great. I'm just getting home from work. Been sitting in the garage for a little bit. I felt like I'd make this video. It's kind of off the top of my head, but I was genuinely really saddened um hearing about the passing of Rumble Johnson. So I felt like I would share a story with you guys. A lot, some of which I'll keep to myself, but majority I'll share with you guys. So essentially, when I got into boxing many years ago, I'm gonna do some name dropping too. Um, there's this gym in California called CSW. In my opinion, the best mixed martial arts gym ever. In my opinion, um, monsters over there like Tim Sylvia. If you guys have watched MMA for a while, Tim Sylvia, Babalu. One of my favorites, Josh Barnett. Love that guy. Great guy. And well, there's a lot of fighters there. A more popular name, Brock Lesnar. You guys know Brock Lesnar probably. I never got to meet him, but I know he trained there. But it's just like the gym of gyms, in my opinion. In my opinion. And when I started going there, I was already an Anthony Rumble Johnson fan, but I started going over there, and essentially there's a place called LA Boxing. I'm training LA Boxing, and I would jog to CSW back when LA Boxing was a thing, and I would train with the guys over there. They showed me a lot of love. And they told me, oh yeah, Anthony Johnson used to train here, but they left. He left on good terms. Just going to the next spot to do some training. I'm like, man, I said, this is back when he used to cut all the weight and get down to like 170. And me and him were similar to weight classes. And I'm like, man, that dude has so much power. I would love to spar him one day. And they said, no, you don't want to spar him. I'm like, no, I want to spar him. So hopefully, brother doesn't mind I mention his name. But I had a good friend of mine who trained there, Jamie Fletcher. And one time we were eating dinner, and he's like, I'm going to reach out to Anthony Johnson. You sure you want to spar? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, send him a message right now. So he sent him a text message to Rumble Johnson's phone. Thank God Rumble Johnson didn't reply to spar with me. But it was kind of a goal of mine. I had certain fighters, and normally I've been very blessed. If there's somebody I look up to or somebody I want to meet, I've met like everybody I wanted to meet, except from like Deontay Wilder. I haven't met him yet, but I met his family, and they're cool. But like, man, I'm like, it'd be really cool to meet Rumble Johnson, and I would love to spar with him. So many years passed. I'm done with boxing, living my life, family, being an adult, all that stuff. And I'm name dropping in a lot of information. But Rumble Johnson was in a beat. And I believe the city was, I don't know if it was Huntington Beach or Costa Mesa. It was one of those cities. Those are cities in California. But he was just coming to visit. And essentially, it was like a store that invited him out. So I'm like, oh man, like I've been wanting to meet Rumble Johnson for a while. Like he literally was a goal of mine when I was doing boxing training to get good enough to be able to hang with him for several rounds. Like I got to spar with monsters and men. The craziest sparring I ever did was Jack May, but that's another story. So I'm like, man, that's kind of like my goal was to spar with him. And this is when Rumble Johnson. At this point, he retired, and he's just a huge man. So I remember I go and I get to meet him. And I say, yo, it's like a fan meet and greet, or can I say what's up? And he's like, yeah, like, what's up, man? How you doing? And me and Rumble, we talked at least, I want to say minimum for 3 hours. Like really, really good, funny guy. And I'm name dropping a lot. I can't say no, I'm dropping a lot of names of how fun of a day this was. I mean, like he felt like you're hanging out with like an older brother, like a man who's gonna look out for you. And I remember he had these dog treats. He told me how much he loves his dogs. And one time one of his dogs got sick, and he's like, it's crazy because I never imagined like a dog being like you love him like a person. So my dog was sick, and I'm like, oh no. And it's gonna cost all these thousands of dollars to get my dog better. He's like take all my money. Like my dog needs to get better. Me and him were laughing. I told him about one of my dogs that passed away, and I'm like, man, I said I was crying, and I said I went to go do security work, and I said all the guys from the gym I used to train at came over to see me, and like, you okay? And I'm like, no, my dog died. And we're just sharing the stories of like how much we love our dogs and just goofy stuff. And he gave me these treats that he specifically had made for his dogs. And my dogs loved them. That was really nice. He just gave them to me. I didn't ask for money or nothing. And I remember this is something I actually picked up from him. Certain people, are rude, where you'll be talking and they'll see you talking to somebody and they'll just cut you off because they want to talk to that person. So me and him, we're just standing outside just conversating for hours and just laughing and being goofy and talking about our mutual friends like Jamie Fletcher and different gyms we've been to, and just how small the world really is. We have very similar circles. And let him know about how I wanted to spar him so badly, and we were laughing about that. And these two guys walk up, and I'm in the middle of telling them a story about something. And they like cut me off. Like, hey, Rumble Johnson, what's up? And he kind of stopped and he's like, you see, this man was talking to me right now, right? Like he was right in the middle of speaking, and you just cut him off. He said, that's really rude of you to do. And the guy's like, oh, okay. And he's like, hey, like you're gonna wait till we're done talking, and then I'll make time to talk to you, but don't ever cut this man off. That's rude. He said, I won't let somebody cut you off, so you don't cut him off. And I'm saying like, but like he was cool about it, but he was very firm. Like, nah, like you see, I'm talking to him, and he's right in the middle of speaking. You just came and just cut him off. Like that's. But the guys, those two guys, they apologized to me, and I'm like, it's cool. And everyone was like, yeah, please continue. And I'm just there like, I don't even remember what I was saying. But it came back to memory that we finished talking, and the guys were humble and waited. And then Rumble gave them like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, like talked to them and took pictures with them. And then me and Rumble were back talking. Like he had these clean Nikes he had. He told me he had a fresh haircut. I asked him where he gets his haircut at. We were just talking and being stupid. So while I'm talking with them, there's this white guy about my height, and he kind of comes up behind me, and he's like hiding behind my back, and we're almost turned around. And when I look at this white guy, I'm like, what's this dude like crouched down behind me? And he looks at me like he smiles, like, and I'm like, man, I'm listening to this guy, because I don't this guy, he seems normal, but a grown man to be hunched behind me, that's like personal space. That's kind of weird. So Rumble kind of turns around, the guy's like, Rumble's like, oh, what's up? And I won't mention the gentleman's first name. I'm trying not to mention first names too much in this. Sorry, Jamie, I put your name out there. He's amazing. You recognize this guy, Frederick? And I'm like, he seems vaguely familiar. He's like, this is Skyscraper from Tap Out. Man, I love this dude. He's like, yeah, I heard you're in the area. I had to come check you out. I had to come talk. And then I won't put too much of his business out there, but Skyscraper's family was there. Got to talk to his family, talk to him. And Rumble's telling Skyscraper, like, yeah, Frederick, he's a little bit of a businessman. Y'all should talk a little bit. And he pretty much opened the door for me to talk to Skyscraper, who's a wonderful man, good family man, overall very funny, friendly guy. So me, Rumble Johnson, and one of the owners of Tap Out, which is huge back, when MMA was really becoming, a thing, we're all hanging out, just laughing and talking. And they're talking about like different cars they like, and talking about how's the family, how's this, how's that. And I'm just a nerd fan, just listening to these giants conversating, and they're letting me join in. So this is amazing, And I asked Skyscraper, say, hey, let me talk business with you, let me get some of your knowledge. And I was asking him, how'd you guys start your reality show? What got you into MMA? Da-da-da-da. But it's not about Skyscraper, I won't speak too much on him, And he answered all the questions, and he was really cool. And the Skyscraper, I'm not going to give the answer, but this is a pretty funny conversation. He says, he's like, Rumble, he's like, you still look like you were in shape. And Rumble did. Rumble looked like he could he was dressed like he could play a game of basketball or football right then. Like he looked in great shape. I wasn't aware of what he was going through at this time, nor was Skyscraper. He looked healthy. He looked great. He was still huge at this point. But he said, yeah, you look great. Like, why did you retire? Like, you could take out anybody. And I'm like, yeah, Rumble, like, why would you retire, man? Like, you look in amazing shape. Like, come on, dude. I said, I agree with Skyscraper. Like, what's up? Skyscraper friend was like, yeah, why'd you retire? And then Rumble, I won't say the excuse he gave, because I know if he was alive, I wouldn't say it out of fear. So I'm not going to disrespect him. But he gave an excuse, and it wasn't a good excuse. So we're like, sure. Sure, that's your excuse why you're retired. Sure, man. But later finding out about his health problems, it makes sense why he didn't pursue fighting. He was still like training if he could, but it's crazy because he was so secretive about it. Like he literally was out there like standing up. We spoke, I say, for at least 3 hours. I say at least 5 hours probably, but I'll be more normal with my time and say 3 hours. And then I was like, man, Rumble's great talking with you. I said, I want to talk to you more, but I don't want to be weird, Like, I don't be like that stalkerish fan. He's like, no, like, you're like, pretty much letting me know, like you're like a friend. Like, nah, like, I'm happy you spoke to me, brother. And this and that. I'm like, man, that's great. And I'm like, I hate to say, I'm like, I actually have to go to work soon. I'm like, I got to go home. I said, can I get a picture of you before I leave? He's like, yeah, man, yeah. And he's like, like, get my information. I'm like, yeah, friend, I got you on Instagram, And he was just so nice. Like, he had like that big brother feeling, And Skyscraper was wonderful. Skyscraper's family was wonderful. Like, it was just an overall great experience. And the Rumble's like, hey, like, he's like, hey, I'm going to be going to Long Beach later on tonight. And I'm meeting up with some other people you might want to meet and talk to, He's like, you should come along. He's like, you'll be my guest. Like, you're like, he didn't say homie, but pretty much like and I'm like, dang, like, this is wonderful. But I was like, no, like, hey, like, I got a family at home. Like, I'd feel bad to skip work and have any money missing out. Oh, there goes the light. Have any money missing out for my family, or to disrespect my job that gave me an opportunity. But I'm like, but I really appreciate it. I'm like, if you come to California again, hopefully I'll be able to find you and we can actually hang out again. Like, this has been like a blessing, you know? And so he went out to do his thing in Long Beach, and I went to work. And I never got to hang out with him face to face after that. So being at work today, and I was on my lunch break, and I looked at my phone, and people were putting like the R.I.P. Rumble Johnson. I'm like, wait, what? But it really threw me off guard. I got to call my wife up, like what? And she's like, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah. Like I said, it's crazy because not like we talked all the time or nothing, but he was just such a genuine nice guy. Like, I feel really hurt, you know. And I said, I'm just sorry that he's going through so much. And he probably was going through it back then when I met him. And he stood around, walking around with me and hanging out, and didn't show any sign of weakness. You know, stood talking with Skyscraper, talking with his family, you know, sharing stories, telling us why he retired, his excuse why he retired, which is a garbage excuse. But I mean, now we know better information. But I mean, he's just such a strong man, like mentally, you know. And then like we talked business. He was at that time he was doing work with some bare knuckle fighting something. And I was asking him questions. I won't get too personal on this, but I was asking him questions like, how'd you get into this? Like, how profitable is it? Does it make sense to you doing it? And he was just answering the questions. And I asked him about different fighters and what he thinks about them. And he was letting me know. Like, we talked about Paulie Malignaggi for a while. Because Paulie Malignaggi was going to fight Lobov, Artem. You know what I'm talking about? One of McGregor's friends. And that fight happened, like, anyways, we were just talking about everything, but it was literally like hanging out with a friend, you know? So for those of you that never got to hang out with him, he really, really has that I'm hanging out with my big brother or my big buddy, for lack of a better word. And like, he really will like look out for you. Like, if somebody's rude to you, he's going to check them quickly. Not rude, check them, but hey, like, didn't you just see that he's talking to me? Like, why are you cutting me off for? He has no issue helping out others. He knew I love business. He knows I love fighting. So as soon as Skyscraper came, which she's a legend to me in the MMA community, like, he immediately like, oh yeah, this is Skyscraper. You know, you recognize him? Like, yeah, you know, Frederick's like, he likes business. Y'all should talk. Like, he was just quick to open the door for me. First time getting to hang out with him face to face, and he's opening up doors for me to meet, like, to me, very good, successful people. I don't want this light to turn on. I'll close the door again. Don't want to turn off. Excuse me. And then like giving me, you know, these treats for my dogs. Just for free, like, hey, like, take as much as you want, you know? Like, I make these, like, my dogs eat them up so quick. My dogs love the treats, you know? And then you tell me about his barber and just a good man. And it's just crazy. Like, he's just 2 years older than I am, passing away. Like, I'm 36, he's 38. So it's like, dang, you know? But, like, I'd say, like, just speaking with him, he was really a kind person, had a lot of wisdom, a tremendous business mindset. And even him knowing that how much I was into fighting, and I told him about the different fighters that we both know. Like, I know Michael Bisping, you know, Josh Barnetta. There's a lot of, except name drop, there's a lot of fighters I know and got to personally hang out with and talk to. And he knows them too. So it's funny trading war stories. Like, I told him about when I first met Rampage Jackson, you know. And I said, yeah, he said, he's like the friendliest, intimidating guy I've ever met, you know. Which I can share that story later if y'all want to hear it. And he's telling me his stories with the different guys, but it's just like, it's just crazy. Like, life and time, it's baffling. But again, I'm not the best orator. I'm not the best with words. But that was the time I got to hang out with him, and like I said, he's a strong man because he must have been going through some suffering, and he didn't show it not one bit, like not one bit. And quick to open doors for others, quick to help anybody out. Like I say, he knew what I liked, and he opened the door for opportunities for me. And because of him, I give him credit for this. I don't let people cut me off at all. At work or nothing. If I'm talking to somebody, say, hey, da, 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 da. Like, whoa, you saw me talking, right? Like, you get your chance. Let me finish. I was already speaking. You know, I got that from him. But yeah, I'll say it. I love the guy. He was a great man. I pray for his family. I pray for those he's close with. He did a lot of work helping out. He always posts pictures of this young man that had this was it like a disease? I think they call it like the butterfly disease. It's like a skin issue. So I pray for that young man's family as well, because that's going to hurt when they find out as well. But anyways, Rumble Johnson, he's a cool guy. Awesome guy. When he found out I wanted to spar him, we both laughed about it. I probably would have died. He probably would have popped. But yeah, what a great man. And I'm sorry for those of you that never got to meet him. It was an honor to hang out with him, honor to speak with him. There will never be another like him. I can say that confidently. Y'all have a blessed night.